Welcome to my series I'm creating. A lot of developers do not know how to code their games. When most developers start out, they don't exactly know what to do. I've seen lots of developers who just quit because they don't even know where to start. Let's just see. Who's gonna know what a union is? Or what grouping is? Or what the heck this is, or how to make it. But today I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. I want to explain every single job of what to do. I want to explain every single job in all of the Roblox Studio. And we're going to start with our first job, modeler. I was always a modeler. I've been a modeler kind of person since I was young. But not a lot of people know how to model in this tiny little workspace. Where do you get this from? How are we gonna turn one of these into this? But I'm gonna be showing you how to do that today. So let's jump in. Let's start off by explaining the toolbar. There are many different tools that you may need to use. Let's start off with the select tool. This tool right here is used to select objects. Slightly move them around as well. As you can see, once I press select, I can take things, can drag them around, and I can also check their properties on this other side. There are multiple different tools that are much used. And I'll be using my demo area to demonstrate them. Okay, this is a part. This part can be modified in multiple different ways. Moving allows you to move it to exact positions. The number right next to the corner is where the stud is. It's pretty much just the points or the pivots. So if you want to move things around exactly, or this way, or that way, then you can use this move tool. The scale tool is used to make things bigger. And you can make it by this axis, this axis, this axis, this axis, or this axis. Or you can make it bigger down as well if you want, which most people don't use because they're just an up one. The axis is basically lines that tell where something should go. So if something goes the left direction, or the right direction, or down, or up, or sky high, I guess that's what you could call it. Actually, we'd call this forward, and then we'd call this go up and down, and this would be backwards. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can do with scale. Rotate. This is one of my favorite ones. It allows you to basically shift the position of where the square is going. And here's transform, which is basically just a combination. This is a combination of move and rotate. I like this one a bit, but it's not my favorite. I recommend using this a lot. I just recommend using move or rotate so that it doesn't get confusing. I think there's also scale in here. Yes, there's scale. This is for like exact measurements, so if you're not really interested in that, there's no need to use this tool. Sorry, transform. And you press backspace to get rid of things if you're using a computer. Using a phone, just click on it and delete. So let's start off with the parts. There are multiple different parts. There's the block. There's the block part, the sphere part, the wedge part, the corner wedge part, and the cylinder. These are the parts shown displayed in the workspace. Most people use the block part. Sphere parts are used for specific types. Wedge and corner wedge are mostly for ceilings, and cylinders, I don't actually use cylinders a lot, So not much use for that, but those are the parts. If you're on a computer, you'll most likely need this section. If you're not, then I'm not sure. I don't think you'll need this section. But here are the controls. You can do Control G for grouping, which we'll talk about later. 1 for select, 2 for move, 3 for scale, 4 for rotate, and 5 for transform. You can left click to interact with objects. You can use the right click to basically get this menu, to basically get the menu, which you can see in most and you can right click hold to move the screen. That's pretty much only for computer users. But next section, we're going to talk about grouping. If you want to combine parts together, most of the time, it'll just look like this ugly thing. It won't go together, unless you use the move tool. And when you're looking at this in Studio, click them both together. They don't look very great together, and it looks pretty bad. So if you're looking for a way to make sure that the parts stay together, but also just look better, you can use group, and you can use the group, and it actually turns it into a model on the side. So if you're really in need for building a model and you're too lazy to press workspace and then model, you can use this. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Unions versus parts. A part is just normal, but if you see, there's a little hole in this one, and it looks very interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks very, very, very interesting. And I don't think a lot of people would understand what a union is, so I'm going to describe this very, very gently. So here are parts. Let's make this bigger. You see in the parts, it doesn't exactly show this outline here that you see on the other one. It looks kind of, there's a hole in there, and what's used to make most doorways, but it's not there on this one. But let me show you how to make it. You can turn things into a union using this. First, start off, let's make a part. Move the part in the middle of here. I'm pretty sure you guys should know how to do this by now, but let's just move the part into the middle. Scale it a bit bigger. Let's make it much bigger. Here's this. And don't forget to, let's go to this tab up here called Model. You can actually just, there are multiple different things you can use. For the second part, we want to negate, makes it a negative part. Basically just makes it a part that's not a part, it's just like blank space. So shift click these two together. I've now selected both of these. Now press unite, and they're now a union. It looks not that best because I didn't scale it too well, but this is a union. It can basically be used as a door. And if you're looking to build houses, there you go. There's an awesome solution for that. Let's move on to the next section, terrain generation. If we go to the home, there's this terrain tab. Very interesting, right? I mean, I think it's interesting if you ask me. So let's go over to here. Let's go over here. here's the terrain tab right here. Let's generate some land. I think I want something. I want to generate something, some land. Okay, let's make the plains. And let's generate some land. So let's start by dragging our area right here. Let's maybe make it a bit bigger. Bigger is always better. So let's make this bigger. And now it's time to press generate. And don't forget. Okay, so what is this? Let me ask. It's called terrain generation. We have now made some terrain. Doesn't this look pretty cool? Well, it's magma, but still looks cool to me. Okay, so this magma right here is called terrain. Terrain is like land. You know when you go into the outside. If you go outside, then you'll see a bunch of terrain. I mean, just look at the terrain. Our whole world builds upon terrain. So terrain in this state is pretty much just land. Terrain is the caves, the trees, even the houses could be considered terrain. Well, not really houses because that's man-made, but trees, caves, volcanoes, and everything in between is considered terrain. So this is an easy way to make terrain. I don't think most developers know about this, but this is what terrain is. So what if you don't like this terrain? If it doesn't look good to you? Don't worry, there's an edit. Sea level. We can add a sea level right here. And we can draw something like, look at this. It looks awesome, right? Just look at the wildlife. Look at how special it looks. It looks awesome. Can you make it go up and up, up and up. And look at that, you've made a grass form. Yes, it defies gravity, but still. I mean, just look at this thing. It looks awesome. So, unless you're like a cartoon artist, or like someone who doesn't really need to use terrain or anything that looks a bit more realistic, then terrain is just for you. Go ahead and use terrain. I didn't even know about this at first until I started researching for this video. But this is awesome. Look at this terrain. Alright, well, I'll stop glazing terrain. And now it's time to move on to our next section. Let's move on to our next section, decals. You might be wondering, Kata, what the hell is a decal? Well, let's see. I mean, do you see this? This is a decal. It's basically a picture that you can put onto a block, and you can even upload your own using Service GUI, which I may talk about later in our artist job video, but just for basics, I'm going to explain the basics of decals. So let's create a part. This part doesn't look a bit boring. I mean, I guess you can make it bigger, but it just doesn't have enough to it. I mean, look at this guy. It doesn't look enough. You know what? If you're thinking that, let me tell you something. There is so much better a part that was made. If you thought terrain was insane, look at what I can do. First, let's press on this icon up here, toolbox. There's so many different sections. If you want, you can take your own models from here if you're too lazy to build something. I used to be, not anymore. Plugins, we'll talk about that later. But let's go and focus on this section. Decals. Look at how much there is over here. You can create a site, Playbook Face, God Tycoon, Among Us, literally anything you want. Let's start. I'm gonna search up my favorite character, and you see, look at how much stuff there is. So let's first, we can take this goofy image over here, and if we close our toolbox and look in our Explorer, you can open Explorer up there. Then look, this Mario thing. It looks sick, doesn't it? So what if we were to place that into our part? Oh my goodness. This is what you need to make it. Well, except for the next part we'll be talking about, which basically defeats the whole purpose of decals. But it's still pretty useful. Alright, next part. This is our final section of the day. You may be wondering, why am I over here? This looks a very detailed place, honestly. Well, except for the fact that it defies gravity. But, what if you're looking for, you want to add something that it's really hard to model and really hard to find? Well, fear not, because there's a plugin section. If we look at this plugins, let's go back to that toolbox we saw over there. Plugins. This allows you to, this has a bunch of things, like admin commands, Super Mario World theme, Mario 64 theme. Look, you can add so much to this. And there are multiple different plugins that can do anything. You can buy these free plugins. Let's check what this plugin out does. I have not used this one before, but you can look at this. This is sick. So this plugin allows you to move anything, I think. I have not looked at this plugin, but these plugins basically modify your experience and make it awesome. They do it better, but if you want, there's so many different plugins. Look at this plugin. This is the plugin that I use. See? Spawn someone. Creature? I don't know. But it looks amazing. You see this character that I just spawned is a Roblox. If you didn't look at it and see, how long would it take for me to create that? It would take a long time. I'm pretty sure it would. And imagine you can just type in anyone's username on this thing. Look. That's me. Right there. Just spawn me in. And I can go anywhere. Pretty much. So, if you're really looking for something that's really useful, like you can load in, like if you want to be able to load in your own friends, use the plugins. They're pretty awesome. You can spawn in anything. Just so cool. Alright, let's move on to the outro. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more of this series. I hope you guys learned every single thing about modeling and have a great time. Peace out. Go down there. Art style. You don't deserve to be in my outro for today.